You gotta make the notches deeper, Miss...
Heartstrings, I said, grunting a little as I carved at the sides of the oak logs with my hatchet. The trees that were left standing beside the clearing around us were barren, devoid of leaves. A sharp chill hung in the air as I prepared to add the rectangular pile of wooden beams being slowly built along the side of the road. And this is coming along nicely. I hate to bother you on such a beautiful day.
Don't mention it. Applejack waved a hoof, smiling. She wore a plain brown scarf around her neck to protect her from the bitter November chill. I always take my sweet time heading on home, just in case there are ponies like you roundabouts who need a helping hoof.
Well, I'm thankful. I really gotta get this finished, I exclaimed, sweating, concentrating hard to make the notch perfect so that it would fit with the rest of the beams that I had stacked up. It's taken me too long as it is. My magic can't replace sheer experience, if you catch my drift.
Absolutely. I always feel a bit bad for unicorns. Applejack began, but then blinked and blushed. No offense.
I smiled at my work. None taken.
It's just that y'all are always fancying yourselves as capable of doing all sorts of amazing grunt work with them horns you're sporting. 2 of my best friends are unicorns, and I know for a fact that lifting too much weight with magic can give a pony an awfully bad headache. I think it's good that you're pacing yourself. I only wish I had the opportunity to see and help out sooner.
Oh, Miss Applejack. I smiled as I put the finishing touches to the wood with my hatchet. Trust me, you have nothing to fret about.
If you insist. Ready to put that thing into place?
Care to spot me?
I can do.
I took a deep breath, tensed my muscles, and channeled a surge of magic through my horn. Slowly, I raised the entire beam of wood and levitated across the dirt clearing toward the rectangular base I had started.
With Applejack guiding me, I gently lowered the log into place so that its notches matched those of the beams already there. There! That'll do it! Yeehaw! See? It fits a lot better than your previous ones, I'd be willing to bet.
I can see it already.
I exhaled sharply, adjusting my collar and wiping some sweat from my neck. I gave her a sincere smile.
Thanks, Applejack. I couldn't have done it without you.
She shrugged and adjusted her scarf. I only gave you one little tip and now you're thanking me like I'm a contractor or something. I'm only happy to lend some help, Miss Heartstrings. Just don't forget to apply the mortar between them beams there. I could show you how if you like. My father was a bit of an expert at building log cabins, you see.
Really now?
I took a deep breath of the cold autumn air and glanced softly at her.
Dare I ask, did he have much to do with the making of this town?
Funny you should ask about that, Missy. Applejack's breaths came out in misty vapors as she stood on the plain wooden scaffold beside me. Together, we finished plastering mortar inside the upper beams of one of the cabin's completed walls. A lot of ponies don't know this, but Ponyville's size tripled while Pa was alive. He was responsible for many decisions that the city council made, including the expansion of housing projects in the north side of town.
Really? I smirked as I applied more mortar. Flakes of snow drifted down and dotted the blue tarp that acted as the cabin's temporary ceiling. So he wasn't just apples all the time?
Hey, tain't nothing wrong about apples.
She briefly frowned, while I let forth a sort of foolish giggle.
With a tranquil smile, she gazed off into the wintry lengths of the forest and said, Pa believed in looking after oneself, but his conscience extended well beyond that. Every soul he met was a pony in need, and he never stopped working for 1 second in his life to make sure they got as much a chance to shine on in life as he did. Why, I'd reckon he make a mighty fine mare.
She sighed heavily, and her green eyes fell.
If fate had decided to smile on him and Ma, that is.
I'm sorry, I murmured.
Heh, don't be. She smiled at me. I don't regret nothing, on account that Pa taught me everything I needed to know to keep on supporting my family and loved ones good and proper like.
You strike me as a very lucky pony, Applejack. My work paused ever so briefly as I endured a wave of chills. To know where you belong and those whom belong to you?
Pa used to say, always make sure that you lay down a good foundation. The rest takes time, but it works without a hitch so long as the foundation is solid.
She looked me in the eyes after saying those familiar words.
The way I see it, Miss Heartstrings, we're all in this heave-ho of life together. What better way to enjoy it than to make sure we do it good and proper? Right now, there's no place I belong more than right here helping you. I exhaled softly, adjusting the sleeves of my hoodie, feeling the toasty tendrils of a fireplace in the back of my mind.
The world could use more ponies like you, Applejack.
Heh! Her cheeks flushed slightly. Shucks, I was only doing what I was taught was right. There are heaps of ponies more neighborly than myself.
Oh, yeah?
I leaned forward on the scaffold and applied more mortar.
Like who?